Welcome to Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On with Janice Formicella. I'm Janice Formicella, a breakup coach passionate about supporting others to learn from their breakups, overcome loneliness, love being single, and see the end of a relationship as the beginning of a magical, sexy new chapter in life. I am here each week to share with you the tools that I have learned through my own painful breakups, through hitting rock bottom more than once, and through working with people all around the world to heal their broken hearts. If you are looking for hope and strength to move on from your breakup and resources to enjoy your new life, you are in the right place, and I've got your back. Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On. And yeah, Happy New Year. I am back. I decided kind of last minute to take a break for the holiday, which I never do, have never done. And kind of in the middle of making the decision, I just really realized that it was something I needed to give myself and that I wanted to give myself. And it really had so many benefits. I'm so enormously glad that I gave myself that gift. I feel energized. I feel all loved up from and by myself. I feel excited about life, excited about the podcast, excited about connecting with new listeners and clients. And I was also really able to just enjoy the last few days of the year and enjoy my solo holiday trip to Tombstone, Arizona. Everybody go and follow me on Instagram if you want to see some of my pics. It is the third Christmas that I've gone to Tombstone on my own, and the fourth time that I've gone and stayed at this particular ranch. It was amazing. If anyone is feeling conflicted or unsure about solo travel, let me just tell you, it is the best. I had another wonderful Christmas, and me taking a couple weeks off allowed me to just focus on that. In fact, I didn't end up even doing much social media while I was there. Anyhow, I am back, and I am so looking forward to another year with you. Today, we are going to be talking about getting over the hurtful words that your ex said, perhaps as you were getting close to the breakup, perhaps just in the relationship in general, and perhaps while you were in the middle of the breakup. I know that these things can really, really stick with us. I have had clients tell me that they feel like they can't get some of these words out of their head. I hear people saying that they're kind of internalizing them or identifying with them. And yes, words do hurt. And it can be really challenging and lonely, kind of, to figure out how to get past them and how to put the past in the past. That's what today's episode is about. Before we get started, I just really quickly wanted to let you know I am starting the year off with a new coaching program that is at an intro rate. It is called Move On in 3 Hours or Less and includes an entire month of coaching and 3 Beat Your Breakup coaching sessions. The info is in the show notes, and I would love to work closely with you to release your ex. So how do you release the harmful things that they've said to you? First, let's talk about why people say such hurtful things during a breakup. First, breakups bring out the worst in us. As I've said on this show before, this is why so many people refer to their ex as a narcissist. That is because our worst sides come out. For some of us, breakups cause us to do the worst that we are perhaps even capable of. It can be helpful to keep this in mind if your ex lashed out at you and said something that really wounded you. Next, breakups cause our sense of reality and safety to be suspended. This is really scary. It is really disorienting. It brings up emotions that we are unfamiliar with. Lashing out or saying something to hurt the other person can provide a temporary release in a situation that is so confusing and overwhelming. It doesn't make it right. It is never okay to say something to hurt someone to make yourself feel better or because you feel like you can't control yourself or anything. It's never okay. But remembering this may help you to not take on anything that this person said to you. And simply put, we aren't taught how to cope with the end of a relationship. We are raised in a society that teaches us that we should prioritize finding an exclusive relationship above almost anything else in life. We are taught from a young age that relationships are failures unless really one of the people in the relationship dies. We aren't taught that it's okay that things come to an end. We aren't taught that it's normal when things come to an end. We aren't socialized with any tools to help us to enter relationships, understanding that they may come to an end. I mean, in fact, that they will likely come to an end. And we certainly aren't socialized with the tools that allow us to navigate them when they do. As a side note, this is one reason why I am such a strong proponent for no contact. So many of us lack the communication skills to end as friends. It is challenging to stay in contact with someone after a bad breakup has taken place and then to try and heal outside of the relationship. I mean, really, you're still in a relationship with the person, even though you've broken up, if you're maintaining contact. If things ended badly and hurtful words were said, it's best to go separate ways while the dust settles. If your ex hurt you, nothing good can come of having them. Nothing good can come from having them around while the wound is still fresh. And of course, another reason why people say hurtful words during a breakup is there are people who are nasty, unkind, and not for you. Many people show their best side or show a complete mask in the early days of a relationship. It is real easy to not realize that a person is capable of being so unkind. This fact may help you to realize that you dodged a bullet and that you are so much better off, even as much as it hurts. What do all of these reasons have in common? The reason why someone is unkind during a breakup doesn't have anything to do with you. Even if your ex criticized something about your character or something kind of intrinsic about you, or perhaps something that you're already sensitive about, or something that you're already working on, it's still a reflection of how far they will go to hurt you, not about you or your character or anything about you. It's still about them. Some of you may know that I went through a fairly painful breakup last year. I really put myself out there and produced a very raw and vulnerable episode, and that is episode 163, My Recent Breakup Lessons. In the episode, I had the very interesting opportunity to admit to the world that my relationship had ended and that it hadn't ended very well. I had the chance also to remind myself how effective my practices are, and that was pretty cool. It really gave me a lot of confidence in my work. And I put the breakup behind me pretty quickly. I have to say, everything that I did, everything that I teach, everything I help my clients with really does work. It was great. But anyhow, a couple of the breakup lessons that I learned and talked about in that episode were related to hurtful words. I'll share three of them with you here. First, you are allowed to keep the positive things that an ex has previously reflected on you, has previously told you. Basically, if someone says something unkind during a breakup, it doesn't mean that you have to throw out all of the nice things that they said. Remember, people are attracted to us because of the positive things they see in us. You are allowed to own all of those things. Second, you are allowed and you should toss out the things that someone says from a place of hurt. So, any of the nasty things that your ex said to you, I give you permission to throw them away. Do not internalize them. Learn to shake them off. Accept that the pain you feel is perfectly valid. You're allowed to be hurt. I really want to stress that. And also accept that it is temporary. And three, as I already said, breakups really bring out the worst in us. My breakup was a reminder of that. I also said a thing or two out of very deep disappointment and frustration over the situation. I am actually quite proud and quite confident about the fact that I kept that to a minimum. But yes, my hurt came out in a couple of the things I said, or maybe in a couple of the ways that I said them. But in a way, I was thankful for the raw feelings that I felt in the moment. And it has made me a better coach, hopefully a better partner, and a better communicator for sure. Some of you may be very cognizant of some of these things, but when hurtful things are said, it can still be so hard to let go, right? We can just hear these things over and over in our minds. I really, really get that. I would say today I'm much better with my mindfulness and I'm much more on top of this. I tend to either hear something and let it temporarily get to me and then quickly set it aside. But I've been there. I carried a few things that my ex-husband said to me in the early days of our separation for a long time. I kind of took them on in a way. Today, when someone says something hurtful to me, like I said, I shake it off pretty easily. And I'm emphasizing this because I've come a really, really long way. And I know that you can as well. If I can do it, you can do it. And it's easier said than done. Sometimes it helps to explore why we are holding on to hurtful words, i.e., why we are clinging to the past so much. This might not be the approach that helps everyone, but I know it will resonate with some of you. I know how my listeners are, and I think some of you will appreciate this. Think to yourself, are you gaining anything by holding on to this hurt? What are you getting out of holding on to this? I know that it may seem counterintuitive. After all, none of us want to think that we are benefiting by being in pain. But perhaps holding on to this, perhaps holding on to these words is allowing you to avoid accepting that the relationship is over. When we hold on to the words our ex said, it is a way of holding on to them, as self-destructive as it is. It's similar to perhaps reading old text messages. When we fully release the hurt or fully discontinue playing the words over and over in our head, the more fully we release them. And we can only release them when we accept that it is really over. And that hurts. That is fucking painful. I get it. And it's also fucking powerful. Or another thing you may be gaining Is continuing to think about the past keeping you from trying new relationships? Maybe trying new things in life? Maybe going outside your comfort zone? Opening up to having joy around being single. A lot of people don't want to accept that being single can actually be really great. And so staying attached to your ex or holding on to the past can be a way to prevent you from learning about that and being a little uncomfortable. Is holding on to the past preventing you from adapting a new outlook on relationships? That's also something that can be, confronting because we don't know what's going to happen when we open to new outlooks. Think long and hard about what you may be gaining by clinging to the pain of the past. It may be the eye opener, the data that you need to start to push harder to move on. And how do you do that? How do you move on after such hurtful things have been said? Get a pen and paper because I got you. I'm going to take a quick commercial break and then I'm going to load you up with a bunch of tools to beat this bullshit. Nothing shatters your life like a breakup, and the feeling of a broken heart is real. I know that it seems impossible right now, but there is hope and there are ways to heal. I would love to work with you one-on-one to heal your broken heart and put your breakup behind you. My personalized coaching programs are designed to pinpoint what will be most effective in helping you to move forward and make this breakup a part of your past. I believe in you. Message me at breakupspodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at breakupspodcast, and let's connect about creating a magical plan of action to get this breakup in your rear view mirror. Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk about how to heal from hurtful words that are said during a breakup. Because I know that processing and healing is something that is often best done after a little bit of damage control, let's talk about what to do in the early days of a breakup that involved hurtful words. First, when hurtful words are said, it is always best to cut off contact with a person. This level of hurt feeling and this level of raw emotion do not make for anything positive or helpful at all coming out of remaining in touch. I mean, would you really want to stay connected to someone who cared so little for your feelings? Let yourself heal. Come back to yourself. Love yourself up. Think about what has happened. Accept that you are better off now. Think about perhaps what you'll do differently next time. Do this all on your own. I've done a lot of content on the no contact rule. Definitely head over to my Instagram or scroll through this feed to find more help. I know that it can be challenging, but I stand by its effectiveness. Along those same lines, don't get hung up on letting your ex know the impact of their words or actions. This is done with. The words have been said. The relationship is over. It is not important to have the last word. Leaning into the discomfort of wanting to connect with them through chastising them or having kind of a gotcha moment has so many benefits on the other side. When you resist the urge, you will realize that you don't need contact with this person to bring you clarity, relief, or satisfaction. You will realize how capable you are of healing without them. You will take one more step toward turning a corner on your breakup. Are you really struggling with not reaching out or lashing out at your ex? Another tip that I have seen be so effective for myself and my clients is to write a letter to your ex that you will keep just for yourself, just for your healing. You will be surprised how effective this can be. This exercise allows you to say all of the things that were left unsaid without wondering what the response from this person will be. It's a very freeing feeling. It can be so much more cathartic than having the person who hurt you be on the receiving end. Think about it. Writing a letter that your ex will never see will allow you to be even more honest, be even more specific, and maybe even be more angry if you feel like that's what you need to do to get some closure or some relief. If you want to take a deep dive into how to write a letter to your ex, please check out episode 172, A Letter to Your Ex. Here are some basic guidelines to get you started. First, set the stage. Do you want to light a candle? Do you want to listen to maybe some angry music? Something like that. Set a timer. It can be really great to maybe write really angrily for 20 minutes. That might not resonate with everybody. I know some people like to kind of come back to the letter maybe through the week. If a timer is something that you think may help you, try it. That's what I always do so that I make sure that I keep writing for a set amount of time. Next, don't hold back. Say everything that you want to say, no matter how personal, perhaps no matter how angry, perhaps no matter how small it may seem to others, or maybe how small it may have seemed to your ex. Really, really, really let it all out. This is why sometimes it helps maybe to listen to angry music so that you can kind of get in the zone. Next, it may be really useful to read it out loud to somebody and to let somebody witness this. Definitely not your ex, though. This is a friend or perhaps a coach. I love doing this with my clients. It is extremely powerful. Then, of course, decide if you want to keep the letter or get rid of it. There are benefits and there are benefits to either approach. Another tip if you are struggling to get over hurtful words, don't blame yourself. Breakups happen, breakups take two people. Relationships end because they aren't working. You didn't make anybody say anything. And if you would have done things differently, maybe, it doesn't change the past. Focusing on self-blame is not going to help you heal right now. Blaming yourself keeps you trapped. Learn to forgive yourself. Commit to moving on. Commit to learning from this experience rather than torturing yourself over it. I did an episode on self-forgiveness and breakups, come to think of it. I'll link to it in the show notes. Another tip for getting over hurtful words, practice mindfulness. Learn to put it out of your head. Rumination causes us to identify with our thoughts. When we ruminate over painful words, we start to think that the painful words are true. We start to see other things negatively as well. We start to see life as being negative or ourselves as being negative. We may start to become obsessed with lashing out at the person or obsessed with what they think of us now. Rumination is seriously like poison to the brain. It is not what you need right now when you're trying to heal from a breakup. Our thoughts are not our reality, they are just our thoughts. We have control over our thoughts, not the other way around. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm fucking passionate about this particular subject. If it feels like you can't stop thinking about something, it is just because you haven't practiced enough. Mindfulness is a skill, and it is one that you can develop with time. I promise you, we are all capable of it. There are endless resources online to help you get started. A big part of my coaching programs are about helping people to develop mindfulness techniques and catch themselves when they start thinking about their ex or regretting their breakup. Again, hit me up if you want to talk about support and working together. I love this shit so much. Again, putting these things out of our heads comes with the acceptance that the relationship is over, and that is up to you. And along those lines, my next tip is to ask yourself another question. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I let these words go? Is this motivation for you to be more intentional about your healing, perhaps? How do you want to feel? How will it feel when you let these words go? What would your days be like if this wasn't on your mind? What would your days be like if you weren't ruminating and if these words weren't controlling you? What would your life look like if you removed your ex and the mean things they said to you from it? Don't let someone stomp around in your head with their dirty feet. I think that was a Gandhi quote. I could be wrong. Are you ready to give yourself that level of peace? Do you love yourself enough to set yourself free by releasing this person? My next tip is to not go around repeating the words or how you feel about the words to friends or family. Of course, in the initial days and even in the initial weeks of the breakup, we can and should rely on our support system. But you can get support without repeating the words and spreading them around. Each time we repeat the words or how we feel about them, we increase their impact. Rather than hearing that we want to heal, our subconscious hears the hurtful words. And the result is that we stay stuck or things just keep on getting worse and worse when it comes to our broken heart and our healing. Similar to rumination, repeating words out loud causes us to identify with them more and more and more. The words that were spoken to you were negative and hurtful. Repeating them spreads that negativity. It gives fuel to them. It keeps them in our system rather than allowing them to start to leave your system. Letting someone know once is one thing, but yes, repeating it and telling more and more people, that's another. Pick one close friend, tell them what happened, let them support you, and leave it at that. Ask your support network for what you need from them. Rely on them for what they can do to help you heal. Don't use them to spread the words or to vent. I did a really cool episode a while ago. It's episode 167. It's called Talking About Your Breakup. My friend and coach Lena Ehrenberg came on and we talked about all the different ways that can be harmful or helpful regarding how you talk about your breakup. It was really cool. Go check it out. 167, Talking About Your Breakup. One of my last tips for coping and healing from harmful words said during a breakup is to talk to a coach or counselor about the hurtful words. If you are having the urge to repeat the words or talk about how they hurt you, it means that you're having a hard time processing them. Processing hurtful words, processing a hurtful breakup can be hard to do on your own. As a coach, I have a wealth of tools, resources, tips, exercises, suggested goals, and more to help you beat this bullshit and get the words out of your head. My sessions are designed to help you release what is most challenging about your breakup, to look at things differently, to explore what will be most useful to you, to help you take action that will allow you to heal. You will be amazed at how powerfully you can turn things around with a bit of support. There are professionals out there who want to help you, professionals who know that a breakup doesn't have to break you. Go and get some support. And last, if you are struggling with hurtful words that your ex said to you, I want you to give yourself a big dose of self-love. I know that this can be hard after somebody has torn you down. I really do. But I want you to get out a piece of paper and write 10 positive things about yourself. Push hard and don't stop until you get to 10. If you can't think of anything, I want you to write down that you are listening to this podcast and therefore willing to show up for yourself. That is a positive thing about yourself. I want you to write down that you know that you deserve better than what you got during your breakup or relationship. That is a positive thing about yourself. I want you to write down that you have faith because, again, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if there wasn't a bit of faith inside of you that things can get better. That's a wonderful ability. That is a positive thing about yourself. Get to 10 things, then write another 10. You can email this list to me if you would like, share it with a friend, maybe put it up on your wall. Really let the positivity grow. Spread the positivity of these true, positive words rather than spreading the false, negative words that were spoken to you in the midst of one of life's most painful experiences. Breakups suck. To keep this going, I'd now like you to write 5 sweet nothings to yourself. You can use the list you just made if that helps. Tell yourself why you love yourself. Speak in the first person to yourself. For instance, I love you because you have great taste. I love you because you are being so strong. I love you because you are funny. I love you because you have so much faith. If you are going through a bad breakup right now and struggling with the things I have talked about in this episode, I am so sorry. I know how hurtful words can mess with your head. I really do. And I also know that there is a bright, beautiful world and future waiting for you once you release the past. I am so proud of you for pushing play on today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by leaving me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And with that, I am sending you so much strength for the week ahead. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On with Janice Formicella. I sincerely hope that you found today's episode inspirational or useful. I would love to support you on your healing journey. All you have to do is send me a message on Instagram at Breakups Podcast or email me at breakupspodcast@gmail.com, and I will be in touch to get you started. Remember, if you are struggling with a broken heart, your feelings are temporary. I am sending you so much love and luck for the week ahead. You've got this.